Hey, this is Jason.
And this is Travis, and we're the QBs on wheels. But this episode, I don't think we want to be QBs anyway. But go ahead,
Yeah,
Jason.
that's the truth. The way QBs have been getting beat to hell this season,
Yeah.
we may want to be the punters on wheels for a few weeks until. Let's just go down the list, dude. Um, I want to remind everyone we are only in week 2. Listen to this list of injuries. Get us started, man.
Uh, well, the main one I wanted to mention is Drew Brees. He's in our division, and he has some damaged ligaments in his throwing hand by the thumb and the bottom of the wrist, and he's supposed to be out 6 weeks. Um, they could place Brees on the IR, the injury reserve, but that means he's going to have to miss 2 more weeks. But I mean, that's a possibility just in case they want to pick up somebody else.
Hmm.
Teddy Bridgewater is a capable quarterback, but he didn't look very good in that game when Drew Brees got hurt. Just a couple things I want to mention about the Saints since Drew Brees got hurt. First of all, Drew Brees is 40 years old and has only missed one game to injury since high school. I thought that
That's
was unbelievable.
unbelievable, definitely.
And then this is the one I wanted to say. The Saints were 8-1 odds to win the Super Bowl this year. Since Drew Brees got hurt yesterday, 25-1 odds.
Ouch.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that's
I
rough.
mean, you think about it. Um, there's 32 teams. So any team that is 32-1 odds is basically, that they are viewed as no chance.
Yeah,
So the Saints have gone way down that list, way down that list.
yeah.
Um, but I want to talk about Ben Roethlisberger. I guess two things that kind of shocks me. One is it looks like Big Ben is out for the season. He's going to have surgery. They haven't officially called it yet, but there's a good chance that his season is over. The other thing is he damaged his elbow just throwing a pass, a regular pass.
Yeah.
So my question is, I mean, he wasn't hit. He it was just the elbow gave out in the middle of a pass. So the question is that even with surgery, how reliable is that going to be in the future? Could this be the end of Roethlisberger's career? Remember, he's been in there almost as long as Breeze.
Yeah, he's been there for a while.
Uh, and we'll have to see with the rehab, um, but for Steelers fans, I think that this is unfortunately probably the beginning of the end for Ben.
On a good note, though, Mason Rudolph did look pretty good for just coming in. So maybe there's something there. But yeah, I don't think Big Ben's coming in any. I think he's done.
Yeah. Um, the other bad news in Pittsburgh is, Mason looked pretty decent. Um, but their who was their third stringer, they traded to Jacksonville after Foles got hurt, and they needed a deeper roster.
Yeah.
So at this point, they're bringing a guy up to practice squad. Pittsburgh's one of the rare teams that has a QB on the practice squad, so they're bringing him up, activating him. I don't remember the guy's name. I can't. But the problem isn't that Mason looks good or bad, but their bench is very, very, very shallow right now.
Yeah. If something happens to Mason,
So
they're screwed.
even for a couple of plays,
Yep.
they don't have anyone with game experience uh, available to them. So that'll be interesting to see if there's some shuffling going on.
Yeah.
Who's next on your list?
Well, I want to go back to Breeze real quick. I did forget he's also getting surgery. I forgot to mention that part. Why he's out 6 weeks, but I don't know. This isn't so much an injury as it is old age. I think Eli needs to. I think they need to get. I think the New York Giants need to give Daniel Jones a shot. I think it's about that time. Eli looks real slow, and
Yeah,
Saquon's doing all the work. I think Daniel Jones needs a shot.
yeah. I hate to say it, but I think you might be right. At the beginning of the season, the plan at the Giants was to allow Eli to play the entire season. He was going to be the no question starter for 16 games and let Daniel Jones mentor under him and then transition probably. I think that they were going to softly encourage Eli to retire at the end of the season. Um, but now Giants fans are brutal. They're brutal. They're calling for his head already. They're excited about having some fresh blood, I guess. So the question is, does the coach bow under the pressure? Um, he has been non-committal in the press conference, so that tells me that he went from, Eli's my guy. Don't ask me that question. To well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely feeling the pressure.
Well, they're 0-2, and Daniel Jones looked good in the preseason. What do you have to lose? If he does bad, you're in the same position. If he does good, you look like a genius, and you probably get another 3 years of coaching in the New York Giants. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like I don't understand what they have to lose.
yeah. That's the thing is that not only is Eli's job at risk, but so is the coach if he doesn't make
Oh
the
yeah,
move
by
when the time
far.
comes. Um, so we got Eli is at risk. We have Big Ben who's out, Drew Brees who's out at least temporarily. Nick Foles is out probably for the season. Um, there's a few guys that are looking good, but one of them that looks great, but suddenly I'm nervous about is Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
That first week he played a hell of a game, and he didn't play badly, but he didn't do a great job, and he looked like he may be injured. So the question is his back injury uh, something that's going to come back? It's hard to tell.
Yeah, he didn't look like he looked in the first game. He definitely looked like something was bothering him.
Mhm.
So that's definitely something to watch for as the season progresses. So
Yep, you could tell he was in pain during that game, but I think the adrenaline
yeah,
um, was, keeping him focused. The question is that what's bothering him? It's hard to tell.
yeah.
Maybe he just ate some bad tacos. Who knows?
Yeah, could have just had a bad game too, and you
Yeah.
never know. But I do know that I'm calling it right now. I'm just gonna say it. If no more people get hurt from the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots, they're gonna be the AFC Championship game. I'm calling it right now because they look too phenomenal. Like nobody's touching them right now.
Yep. Absolutely. Um, and again, Tom Brady looks flawless.
Unbelievable.
At his age, pretty amazing. Um, the other guy I want to talk about is Lamar Jackson.
He's
He's
looking
leading the
good.
league in touchdowns right now.
He is sharp, man.
Um, he's 70 D's, 0 picks.
Yep.
Um, he's got 126 yards rushing. That's on par with some fairly decent running backs this season.
Yep.
Um, you know, he's not a guy I expected to be talking about. And right at this moment, he's leading the fantasy points for our quarterbacks. I think the other one we haven't mentioned too is Jacoby Brissett. he took over for Andrew Luck. Uh, what's your take on him? Is it too early to tell?
Yeah, I think it's a little too early to tell right now. The Falcons, they play the Falcons this week, week 3. So I'm gonna pay a little more close attention to them this week. So I could probably tell you more about it this week. But I think it's a little too early to tell about him because their defense is pretty good, and their running backs he's either leading the league or second in the league. Actually, no, he's second in the league behind Cook from Minnesota in rushing. So I mean, the team's doing good. So maybe that's all they need. Maybe they don't need a star quarterback. Maybe they just need an average quarterback with an awesome defense and a good running back. So even if he's not doing amazing, I think they're all right, man. They're not they look good. So I'm kind of worried about this matchup with the Falcons. I'll tell you that.
Well, let me ask you this: speaking of Falcons and their QB, Matt Ryan had 7 interceptions all of last season.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan has 5 interceptions in 2 games and leads the league in that category. I'm just running down through the stats here. Let's see. Matt Ryan's first. Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Miami Dolphins is second, and Baker Mayfield is third. Dude, you're not in good company.
No, Matt Ryan. I don't. Especially last night. In the first game, I thought maybe it was just a fluke or something. Like I thought he would do all right, but last night he was throwing the guys like there was one bomb to Julio Jones that didn't even make it. Didn't even make it to Julio Jones. It was 10 yards behind him, and luckily the defensive player looked behind him and intercepted it. And then they got in the goal line position, and he throws it right to the defensive player. Yeah, I don't know. I was really mad at Matt Ryan last night. I was cursing that TV out, man. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he needs to step it up.
Now, Carson Wentz, on the other hand, I thought he looked good. The problem is that he's got a ton of injuries. Last night, uh, 2 tight ends and 3 wide receivers got injured at some point during the game.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing was that there were a few balls. The one was perfect, going in for the game-winning score, and went right through the receiver's hands.
Yeah.
And I think that, in my opinion, that's not Carson Wentz. That's coaching. Is that you got to be working on those receivers, making sure it's fundamental. This is the first thing you teach you in junior high football is watch the ball until it's actually in your hands. Don't worry about what's going on around you. And we saw that several times last night.
I'd blame them more. Go ahead.
Players trying to think about what play you're going to make after they catch the ball.
Yeah.
Before they catch the ball. Part of that is the quarterback. The quarterback has to be the leader and bust some ass there. But moreover, it's coaching because it wasn't one guy. It was several players on the Eagles.
That one play you're talking about, though, there's no reason why he should have missed that pass, though. That's him being an idiot because you're right. That was a game winner. There's nobody that would have touched him. He would have been in the end zone, and Carson went through it on the dime. So that's his fault.
Now, the other thing I wanted to mention too about that game last night, the Eagles lost by 4. 4 is also the 2-point conversion that they missed by about 8.5 millimeters, and a missed field goal. That's 5 points right there.
Falcons missed a field goal too, though.
Okay, but I mean, it was.
But I know I got what you're saying.
That game was a game of inches that made the difference.
Yeah.
As to who won, like I said, I feel like it was the Falcons and the Eagles trying to figure out who wanted it less.
Yeah, and Zach Ertz, for that 4th and 8. He was right there. If he would have just extended the ball a little more, it would have been a first down. But he got tackled short.
Yeah, that the truth of the matter though is that was an amazing tackle.
Yeah, it was. It
Yeah,
was all right.
and every other, Ertz is not an easy guy to get down.
No, he's huge.
I don't put the blame on him. That was just a brilliant tackle that stops him short. But yep, it was a good game. It was enjoyable to watch. I'm glad the way it ended. Being a Cowboys fan, having the Eagles lose doesn't break my heart. I'm happy for you. The battle of the birds and the Falcons prevail.
I wouldn't go as far as saying that was enjoyable to watch because for me, I almost had 3, 4, 5 heart attacks. So, but I'm sure for you it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, Travis had to sit there with his defibrillator.
It was bad.
All right, first down. Don't clear. All right. Any more QB news you can think of?
I think that's it, man. Everybody else is pretty well doing all right.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Travis and I are the punchers on wheels, at least for another week or two. I'm afraid somebody's going to hit me.
Hold on. Sam Darnold's out tonight. I forgot that. I don't know if we mentioned that or not, but
That's
Sam
right.
Darnold is out tonight.
We did not mention that with he's out with mono of all things.
And they actually said that could linger for a couple more weeks, so we'll have to see.
Yep. Oh, just thought I'm just looking at some stats. I thought I would throw this one out there. Remember that guy Jared Goff that made the massive payday? He's ranked 25th in the league right now.
Oh yeah.
Other quarterbacks. So even the guys who are healthy are certainly not immune to it.
Yep.
But Pat Mahomes, Tom Brady, Dak Prescott,
looking good.
The class of the league right now.
Looking real good.
We are the punters, and
on
we're
wheels. Peace.